Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me. Cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get this.
Alrighty, what is going on, guys? This is your boy Tig once again for another Project Open Mic. Hope you guys are doing well. Oops, look like technical difficulties is still abound. Apologize for that. But I'm hoping that you guys can still hear me, so let me make sure I have situation at hand. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so hope you guys are doing well. Sorry about that. Show my lovely face on the screen. Here you go. It's Thursday. You know what time it is. Project Open Mic. Hope we got your ears, we get your brain thinking. Again, thanks for giving me your time, which is very valuable. We understand that. Your ears, your eyes, and your mind to open up to some conversation that we have to talk about. So with that said, thank you for your patience. For some people, because like I said, I had a little technical difficulties that started later than usual. So tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Super Bowl. We're going to talk about also how society, sometimes in society, it's just I call society just people doing crazy things in that regard. That's my thing. And we're going to talk about, of course, what's going on with China as well. So with that said, tonight's show is basically called, yes, life is not fair. That's true. But your choices could be the great equalizer to do that. Now, I'm a person, and anybody could tell you out there, you know, so a lot of people don't agree with me on this in my own family and in my own orbit, people around me. So I will gladly state that, you know, that I'm the exception to a lot of rules and stuff like that. So the reason I say that is because, like, yes, as you can see, even though I make the joke many times with Joe Biden that I'm a white man in blackface, because Joe Biden famously said, if I don't vote for him, I ain't black. Well, I did not, so hey, I ain't black. But you see my dark skin. I'm a brown skinned and black person, as you would call it. I'm a black person, and of course, I don't get hung up a lot about slavery. I'll talk about it to see whatever, but the way my brain works and my thinking goes is, look, I know my grandmother. My grandmother never told me about the evil white man and this and all that stuff. She just tell me do the best I can. My mom did the same thing too. Showed me, hey, work your hardest and you bear your own fruits and everything. And as I stated many times, like, to come from, you know, being raised, like I said, my grandma's house is a house. I can't argue about it, but we did what we can. But my mom, we came from a 2-bedroom apartment where I was, you know, sleeping with my cousin and my grandma sometimes in the same room, small room, and we stayed in there, you know, slept in there. Come from that to where I'm at right now, where I have, you know, a 5-bedroom house. I mean, blessedly by God and land and everything else, and trying to figure out to get to build more back home in US. So yes, it is God blessing. It is a blessing. I'm a very spiritual man, and I take my blessings at heart, because it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to my point I'm at. So people you be telling me, since it's Black History Month, you're like, oh man, Black History Month, not Black History Month. They were telling me that, I've been called the N-word. I've been called the N-word by Black people who I never liked, and I called by N-word by white people, which again don't like. But here's the thing: I don't let those words bother me. Words does not bother me when you use, I'm dumb and blah 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 blah. No, I know people say, when things came to, just like, I understand. This is between me and my girl, because she's like, she don't say, I should not say that I'm average at best, but she's like, don't say I'm ugly or whatever. No, I get it. But I'm confident in myself what if you give me a task, I will do the utmost power with God-given hands and power, because I always say the only thing I can control is my hands, my feet. That's it. I can't control nothing else. Understanding that, I don't. That's it. I don't worry about what people say words. Oh, you're bad, you're ugly, low energy, you're this, you're that. I don't care that the words, because the words is words to me. And sadly, I came from an era where we used to be saying, funny enough, we used to be saying, what was it? Sorry about that. We used to be saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, and words will never harm me. Now we at the point right now where words are harming people, because you try to tell a person, hey, you're overweight. Oh, you're fat shaming. No, but it's not healthy. You're gonna die young. As people try to tell Lizzo that, but she wants to play. Oh, I'm beautiful, blah blah blah. No, you're a beautiful person. You could be a beautiful person, but you don't want knee problems, high blood pressure, diabetes. Like, that's a lot of stuff that kill a lot of Black people. That's not a healthy weight. That's why I lost weight. I wasn't that heavy myself. I was 225 pounds. I'm 180 now, after working and exercising and changing my food, and as the guy said, drinking water, all kind of stuff like that. Being healthy. I want to be healthy. I want to live. My grandmother, God bless her if she makes it, and I hope and look like this, and I'm crossing my fingers, knocking on wood, everything. She's gonna be 95 years old in this May coming up, and she could still walk on her own power. She can still take a shower on her own. She has that I want. She had to work hard, and she has that wisdom and knowledge, and I'm happy that she's made it. God bless her. She has many more, because of course I'm not married, but I am in a committed relationship. I would love to have kids, and let she see a kid see a grandkid before we go, because only one branch of the family has kids. So she is a great grandmother. So she's 3 greats, but it's all from one strand. So try to make it from this situation from us. So we got that. So, but you gotta be healthy. So you tell about fat shaming, or if we try to say, look, like my mom was a single mom. Again, my father was in my life, so I'm not gonna. It's not as bad a tragedy as other people. But she did raise me and my sister up, up. But she herself would say, and I got her on tape saying this, because I'll show this video. She herself said, "Don't do this. Don't become a single." Don't watch me being a dude. Be careful how I spread my seeds, so women don't get caught. Because again, I had my share of women trying to trap me, which is messed up. Even though I'm not the most handsome Boris Kuju guy out there, but women trying to trap me in the past, so that is messed up. And for my sister, she don't want my sister to become a single parent, and she said the same thing. She said, "I would not wish a single parent on y'all, because it's not easy." and I understand that, and she knows it. But other people are like, oh, you could be a single. Like I just saw a video, Naomi, I forgot her name, and she's like, I'm gonna choose to be a single parent. I'm like, why? Well, I have the money to do it. Money ain't got nothing to raise these kids. A lot of these kids are, let me see, because I have new things now. I don't even know if I have that one. I don't think I have that one.
Are her parents
Nope, I don't. That is, nope, I don't have it. I need to put it in there. I need to put it in there. Apologize. I have added some more sound clips to my boards. Emotional damage. That's what I wanted to put up there. A lot of these kids are emotional damage. I just saw a part where one of Tupac's closest friends just revealed, which is sad, just revealed that his mother lied to him about his father. And his father tried to be in his life, but the mother wanted the Pookie, the drug dealer, which is, and Tupac himself was like, yeah, that's sad, and I didn't want to do that, and all, like, that's a messed up thing. And y'all just think, oh, I'm gonna be self. I always thought that being a single mom, that people, I didn't know that selfishness was one of the rules to that, because they want to have kids like that. And the singer, yeah, she has money, but she stated that she had a relationship with a guy. Instead of working out the relationship with the guy, she basically got her kids. She gained twins. And then she said, when I get older, I'm gonna get married. Like, I'm sorry to tell some of you people, you have kids. I'm not signing up for that. Most guys are not gonna sign up for that. Speaking of that, that's why I'm gonna be doing new shows onto the Project Open Mic label, which is like Women Talk, which is come off like, it would be like, I'm your big brother, or big brother just talking to some of you women. I'm gonna try my best not to be shoutive and whatever, because again, I do most of it for the entertainment, but I just do not want this to. I want women. I'm just giving you my honest opinion from like, if you were my sister, and from my, talking to you in a way to understand from a man's point of view of some of the things you guys be talking about, because I'm telling you, it's not. Some of y'all have been fed a bunch of garbage. So the Woman Talk will be another show, of course. Next week, you're going to see a video from me and Asa talking about our trip to St. Thomas. You guys was asking for a travel blog. It's not really a true, we just sit down and talk about stuff, but there will be a blog and more fancier video stuff will be happening. But right now, I'm so busy with getting music ready for TT Records 20th anniversary and releasing the 4th album, Shelf Alliance, and everything. It's gonna take a time, so I apologize about that. But we'll go with there. But in that regard, it is just, it's weird that you think that you just because you think you're that cute that you would get it. And here's one of the reasons I'll say I have to do Women Talk, because there's a lot of women who accidentally thinks that, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, because I got so many men in my DMs. They just want to have sex with you. They don't want you to have a relationship with you. 10% maybe, and those are the guys you don't even want. So I don't get that. We need to look at certain things and be like, okay, this is kind of crazy that you guys are doing this. We'll have the conversation for that in most of these shows. Now, going back to, like I said, tonight's show, life is not fair. No. There's some things I am privileged and blessed to be, even though I'm a black person. I am privileged to be born where I was born. I was privileged to have the family that I have, even though some people would say it's a bad thing and how it works out. I get it, but I'm happy I had that. I'm also happy that God gifted me the brain that I have, because most of my stuff that I use, even outside of the CAD, outside of the CAD and architecture stuff that I did that I learned from school, whatever, my music and everything was self-taught. Even this podcast, I'm a one-man podcast. That's what I said. All the clips and everything you guys hear, like I gotta put them together, find them, edit them, so I can get them on a soundboard. Like all that stuff is literally all that stuff is literally self-taught. So even though people would look at my circumstances when I was young and say, "Oh man, that was that," the choices you make are the equalizer to unfairness in most cases, and that's why I say I never had that hurdle of like, okay, you could call me and what I on that. My fourth thing is this: if you ain't messing with my food, my water, my family, my money, or medicine, whatever, for my family, you ain't say, if you ain't messing with that, call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. And I want black families to be together. I would always fight for black families. I'll tell you that. But I would never close the door I told that to A7, your marriage and everything. Like, if I have kids, I don't want them to just be like, oh, I would tell them to be more careful of black people than white people. Sorry, but people will, oh, no, because the people who looks like you is the one who always be the one who really hurts you the most, to be honest with you. One. But two, on a serious note, you never know that Asian man or that white man or that Asian woman or that Italian. You don't know, that could be the opportunity that you needed to advance in your life. So protect yourself from all people, but keep your open mind to all people, just to see if you get opportunity to keep that step going or keep your progress going. That's how I look at it. There's some white people who have helped in my life. RIP to my friend John, who passed away a couple years ago. But he was the one who got me tours and everything in Europe when I was doing music, like in Italy, in France, in Belgium. When we did Tomorrowland, it was like millions of people in Belgium, in England, like Japan. Like, he was my liaison who hooked up the tours and stuff. Italian, he was Italian French, but he was a white dude. And he helped me out. My boss from my architecture job is a white person, and his father and him gave me opportunity to work where he is, and I'm up to the top where I need to be. Like, I'm not gonna Kenji, a guy I know who helped me out with some stuff for gaming on my gaming channel on Nintendo. Like, he's Japanese. Like, I'm gonna keep open-minded to stuff like that. Every race. This is why I said at the end of every show, evil's evil. Every race has problems. Every race has the inners. Every race has snooty-tooth people. Every race has everything that people think about. Technically speaking, white people are the minority in the whole world. There are more people of color than white people, but it won't seem like that because of how people are, the news and how people want to phrase things, whatever. Again, everybody has his biases. I have mine. You live to past 10 years old, you have a bias. Everybody has a bias. But I always told people that because if you heard the word unbiased, basically I know you're going to feed me a crock of garbage. And the words that people need to use is objective. But in that regard, that's how I look at life and how I get in my opportunities. Oh, John Cox, gotta forget him. I mean, not John, Julian Cox, sorry. Shout out to him who helped me got Radio T3 back in 2012. I had a radio show from Radio T3 from 2012 over to 2015. We had the highest viewership we had with 9.8 million viewers. Like, that's the situation I like. That's what it is. Like, right now, between Tempo FM, YouTube, local, Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, Live, like all those are people who are watching right now. I have 24,920 people watching right now through all that. Even though you can go to each platform and see, now the most is on Tempo because of Tempo FM and the radio show. Again, shout out to Julian Cox. But that's my point, though. I'm not gonna knock. I look to opportunities, whatever. Some opportunities have been shut down on me, But again, you got to keep an open. You got to keep an open mind. And I'm talking about not the open minded people like, oh, open mind. No, open mind is to keep ideas going, but also to look at certain things. Because, example, the court system in America when it comes to black people is unfair. The court system when it comes to fathers is super unfair. So one of the questions is, as a black guy want a person want to be a father. And again, when women try to trap me in the past, wrap it up, and expose of it like Dre. You don't want a Dre situation. Expose of it. But don't have unprotected sex with nobody like that until you're married, man. Seriously. And even that's not a guarantee, but still, it's better than going to baby mama drama and stuff like that. Like I didn't go through it, but I was close to going through it when somebody had a child and said, you're the father. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And we took the DNA test and it's not mine. So there's that. Those are the choices. To wrap it up, those are the choices. Make sure you vet as well. Men and women need to vet the people that they're dating. Okay, not this hookup culture, not this stuff. And as like I said, now the young people now words are fragile to them because they get emotionally damaged. So you say a little word and like, oh, they're crumbling to a ball. We're making delicate flowers with our kids. We're making them stupider, and we're making them just, oh my goodness, it's just weird. So I just wanted to give my little prefix in that regard. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. So Super Bowl. I'm not saying I'm not a Super Bowl fan, but I didn't watch the Super Bowl that much this year. Not because of looking at it, it was a good game by the points by the points of what happened. So that's not the problem in it. I'm not really Super Bowl. I'm more World Cup football, international, or cricket, or racing to some regard and stuff like that. Baseball, I was in last year. I was in baseball because Atlanta Braves was one of my teams. So I didn't watch that. But in that regard, Super Bowl. I mean, shout out to the Rams. You guys won. Great game, great play. In the third quarter, I thought you guys was going to lose because I saw when the Bengals, I did watch that when the Bengals scored a touchdown so quick in the third quarter and then had an interception. Like, oh, okay, well, I could see this game's going to be whatever. But that's why people play the game. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. So shout outs for them in that regard. Now, I want to talk about my favorite word that you guys know about, what I would say. Heretics. I don't say hypocrisy no more because why? These people don't care. That's the problem. They don't care. Now, I like certain celebrities. I'm not gonna lie about it. I like a Denzel Washington. I like some of his stuff that he said. I don't like you. Like I told you, many people, you ain't gonna agree with 100% what I gotta agree. And I don't agree with 100% what a lot of people say. But I don't agree on that in certain stance. But when you say one thing and doing the other thing, that I do have a problem with. I have a big problem with that. So. And the Super Bowl was in Los Angeles, in this county. Now, we're going on with the COVID and all this stuff, and I've said it before many times. If you want to get a vaccine, talk to your doctor and see what's best for you. But I don't think we should force people to choose stuff that's kind of messed up. That's my thought. So they had a mask mandate. The county where the Super Bowl in, mask mandate. Everything, mask mandate. Okay. Now, funny enough, the week before, the mayor, the governor, and another mayor from another city, from the governor of the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, the mayor of LA, Garcetti, and the mayor of San Francisco, London Breeze, was all there taking pictures, even though they were supposed to have masks. And then you have that stupid mayor talking about, oh, when I take my mask off, I hold my breath.
What? What the fuck?
We know it was bullcrap. I hold my breath. I swear. Anyway, in that regard, they didn't wear the mask. Not surprising. So the Super Bowl was coming. in a county that says mask, blah, 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 mask will save, mask will do all this stuff, and we're going to get into that. Again, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. I have no problem against people wearing a mask. I'm not a crazy like, oh, you got a mask, you're a bad, horrible person. I play many videos of people who didn't wear a mask and went the opposite way. When that lady, that girl who threw coffee in that guy's face and her boyfriend got beaten the hell up. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. All right? But they provided masks. They wanted to see vaccine. They provided masks for every seat in Super Bowl to have, right? The mayor knows the rules. The governor knows the rules. Celebrities should know the rule because they're the ones always like, oh, wear your mask, don't be an ass, like Charlize Theron or Rock or LeBron James. Oh, wear the mask, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to them, rules for thee, not for me. You could say all you want to say, but then they don't think. So that's why a lot of people don't take celebrities as valid. I don't really to a degree. But let's take a look into that situation. While kids, which shows less transmission and don't do nothing, and is 0.000000000% down, and also with the John Hopkins and the Atlantic and the John Hopkins look at the 25 other studies show that it doesn't. The mask for young, it makes no sense, and other stuff they showed, but nope. These people love to have the power to do what they want to do. And they sometimes call on the celebrities to back them up. And that's the part I don't like. But let's take a look at this nonsense.
Everyone coming to this year's Super Bowl will get one of these, an N95 mask.
And that's the mask that does do something. The cloth mask, the gaiters, all stuff don't do jack squat. And like the N95 mask, it does do a good seal. I learned that when I was traveling that I could breathe easy and stuff in that mask. That's the one that can do something. So everybody's gonna get that mask. Oh, they're gonna use it though.
The big question, will they wear them?
A lot of folks, though, if you watch the game, you notice a lot of people were not wearing those masks, including celebrities. And
still have the mask mandate for the Super Bowl. So local politicians, prepare your apologies now.
Exactly.
The Rams had a historic victory, winning their first Super Bowl after their move to Los Angeles. But many fans have noticed an even more historical event from Sunday night. Super Bowl 56 may have just set a record for the greatest number of sanctimonious hypocrites in one location at one time. Numerous celebrities and left-wing politicians were apparently out having a lovely time during Sunday night's game, and they were most notably not wearing masks. SoFi Stadium, where the Super Bowl was played in Inglewood, California, has a rule, though, that masks are required indoors and outdoors during events with more than 5,000 people. So it's peculiar to see all of those celebrities and left-wing hypocrites without masks. Among those in attendance, partying it up maskless, were Jay-Z, Matt Damon, Charlize Theron, LeBron James, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Ellen DeGeneres, Will Ferrell, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and many, many others. It was a who's who of left-wing hypocrites. In no time, social media was lit up with many criticizing and highlighting the fact that while the celebrities were having a good time, partying it up without masks, school children in Los Angeles, just down the road, were still required to wear masks in classrooms. Others on social media were quick to point out specific celebrities' personal flip-flops and hypocrisy on masks. In 2020, for example, actress Charlize Theron posted to her Instagram that everyone should, quote, wear a damn mask, and quote, don't be an ass. So which is it, Charlize? Were you being an ass or just a hypocrite? Action star Dwayne Johnson was also spotted maskless at the Super Bowl after giving a very strange and awkward introduction, I might add.
Finally!
He slammed politicians in September of 2020 when he told the public that going maskless is selfish and shows a complete disregard for fellow human beings.
It baffles me that some people out there, including some politicians, will take this idea of wearing masks and make it a political agenda, part of a political agenda, politicizing it. It has nothing to do with politics. Wear your mask. It is a fact. And
It wasn't a fact. Sorry, except for KN95. And remember, Fauci said, we should not wear a mask. Having a mask doesn't do nothing. And then now, yeah, we need a mask. Like, he flip-flopped so much, and we already know he's the one who funded the research of the dang virus. Now that I've showed you the videos of that, go back, take past episodes, I think maybe 61 and 60 and 61, where we show that, yeah, Fauci, you stand up and talk about you are science. You're correct. You are science, right? You are the
piece of loser.
A reason why this thing has gotten the way it was. But anyway.
It is the right thing to do, and it's the responsible thing to do, not only for yourself, but for your family and your loved ones, but also for your fellow human beings.
Snoop Dogg emerged maskless from the tunnel to perform in the halftime show, while his crew walked behind him wearing masks. Reporter Maria Taylor was also seen on the field interviewing athletes and coaches while, you guessed it, maskless. But it's worth pointing out other crew members were seen wearing masks behind her, but apparently she was exempt, even though the NFL's official policy is that masking is required. Aside from the numerous...
You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. But I'm here to show you it.
Self-righteous celebrities, the Democrat mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti...
Oh, that piece...
You piece of loser.
We gotta give him the Guinness World Book of Records. Why? Because when he took his excuse for the picture the week before that, he's like, I hold my breath when I take my mask off. Oh, really? I hope you hold your breath for the whole game, because you was pictured multiple times without a mask.
Was also spotted maskless at the Super Bowl. Sounds like a bad rom-com. And this is after just last week when Garcetti was widely mocked when he was photographed maskless at the stadium, the same stadium I might add, for the NFC Championship game. But afterwards, don't worry, he assured critics that he was holding his breath.
I wore my mask the entire game, and when people ask for a photograph, I hold my breath and I put it here and people could see that.
What? What the fuck?
They really think that you're stupid. They really think that you're stupid. You hold your breath. So you hold your breath for what, how much hours was it? Get out of here with that bull crap, man. How can I tell you hold your breath? So let me see here. Can you tell that I'm not breathing? You can't, oh my God. Politicians are such full nonsense. That's why I call them heretics. That's why I say heretics. They don't care.
There's a 0% chance of infection from that.
Bull crap! What? Bull crap, sir! Really? Really? Holy smoke! Oh my God! Y'all such full crap. Such full of crap. Oh my good grief.
Now, some on the left have suggested that the quote science has changed, and now
no,
don't worry, masks are not necessary. However, it seems as if the science just might have been impacted by politics. At the start of the pandemic, public health officials like Dr. Anthony Fauci told people not to wear masks.
Thank you.
Quickly promoting mask mandates on the public, including children. Now, though, the CDC has admitted that, quote, loosely woven cloth products provide the least protection. Walmart, America's largest employer, has even removed its mask policy for vaccinated workers. Meanwhile, politicians and celebrities are still trying to keep the charade up, like Mayor Garcetti saying he was holding his breath. The general outrage at the inconsistency over masks has exploded on social media. Commentator Clay Travis posted a video on his Twitter account and said, quote, here's the video of every celebrity without a mask during the Super Bowl, but every kid in California will have to be wearing them tomorrow in school. They must all be holding their breaths the entire game.
Exactly.
Political commentator Tim Pool noted on his Twitter, quote, celebrities and rich people are allowed to not wear masks. It's just the poors who have to because they're unclean.
Help! Help! Get away from me, you peasants! Basically, that's what it is. That's what it is. Shout out to Tim Pool. But yeah, that's what they do. We're unclean masters, man. And I've been around some of these celebrities. Jay-Z is a particular prick, but like I said, I've been around some of these. Being in the music game, I've been around some of these players. Some are cool, some are just straight up jerks.
Fox and Friends weather anchor Janice Dean piled on, saying, quote, "Of course celebrities and politicians didn't wear masks at the Super Bowl. P.S. I don't care that they aren't wearing masks. Just let the rest of us do the same, especially our kids." Popular
It's
Twitter
true.
account Libs of TikTok wrote, "Kids in California still have to wear masks. Disgusting." Columnist Bethany Mandel summed up what many Americans are thinking when she wrote, "If nobody minds wearing a mask, why is nobody wearing them at the Super Bowl?" Now, interestingly enough, the staff at SoFi Stadium reportedly handed out KN95 masks to each and every single one of the spectators who showed up to the stadium. Now, I'm not sure if I believe that report because I didn't actually see anyone wearing those masks. No word yet on where all those masks ended up. So now that the
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. That was kind of like stupid. And I could tell you this. When I had to travel, I had to be in my thing for like 5 hours, like 5-6 hours. I had my mask. Me and Asa wear a mask. They can't K95 mask. So what the heck?
The rich and famous have been caught having a great time at the Super Bowl without their masks on. Maybe the rest of the country will be able to enjoy themselves without being lectured by the elites. I'm Cabot Phillip.
And that is true. Can we do that without being lectured by a lot of you?
You piece of loser.
Mostly the politicians, the celebrities. Don't get in my face and tell me crap. And you know, again, I don't like when people insult my intelligence. Don't piss on me and tell me it's rain. Okay, please. I'm not that kind of person to be with. Okay, but yeah, just am I surprised? No. But sorry, kids, you're not important. You're not important enough. So you guys gonna have breathing problems and all that still because you guys are not celebrities unless you're celebrity kids. That's how bad it is. But do we all agree that most of these people are heretics? That's right. At least I'm teaching those kids to be good. All right. So you have that nonsense, right? But I'm not surprised. Am I shocked? No. So now, on to the next topic. I'm trying to keep it moving fluidly. Next topic is going as we just stated. It make choices, right? Everything's not fair. So we're gonna look at an exercise. Coming from a channel called Think Before You Sleep. Very good channel. Very open-minded and stuff. Again, you ain't gonna agree 100%, but again, at least it gets your brain thinking. I like that. That's why I try to provide with this show with you guys, and I've seen a lot of people like what I've done. And I thank you guys for giving me your time, your ears, and everything. Like I always say, thank you. So we're gonna go to something where this is what I said. I don't care about the colors and all that stuff. Okay. So we're gonna take a look at how the teachers. And this exercise has been done on many other students, but this one is done in England. But let's look at these exercises, and they pound this into the kids, and I don't like that. Please, if you have a kid, be active in your kid's school and in your life. I know it's hard, but you made a choice to have the kid. Accident or not, you know having sex unprotected gives the kid. So sorry, take responsibility for it. But if you have a kid, be active in the kid's life and schooling to make sure they don't teach these garbage stuff down the. That's why in Virginia, that's why the new governors won, because the governor and then lieutenant governor, even though they told you, the governor, the lieutenant governor and the DA that they're for white supremacists.
NANI?
White supremacist. The lieutenant governor is a black woman from Jamaica. And the DA is a Hispanic man.
Oh no.
My God, I'm sorry that's the thing that's gonna make people. That's white supremacists? Oh my goodness, I learned. Oh yeah, like I gotta give a shout out to AOC. Black woman is unintelligible. That's the best way I could come with it. She said that we're going to go back to Jim Crow laws in 10 years. Do you know what the Jim Crow laws was? And do you not know that the party that you are in is the reason why there were Jim Crow laws? But I digress. Let's look at these kids and talk about, what do you call it? Look at these kids and you see how these teachers put this stuff in the kids and make them way crazier than they need to be. And some of these they're great teachers out there. God bless them. But a lot of these new teachers are too damn busybodies. All right? Too much. The agendas is I teach the damn lesson. ABCs 1 through 3s, man. Seriously. Anyway, let's look into that. And I will play along with this as well. Do the same thing out there, guys. Play along with the video and see what happens. Because me, I will play along with it.
We are going to be running a race. However...
See, everybody's happy. We're about to run a race. Everybody's happy. So they're not thinking about, okay, I'm gonna be faster than you. Even the kid you see the black kid, got glasses, he's excited. The girl right there, yes, like they're excited. Different colors, all of them excited because it's simple. But we gotta inject our stupid politics in a lot of crap, and I hate that part. Yes, racism exists, but we're not going to get rid of racism until every human being is gone off the planet. All right. Again, Hutsis and Watutsis, the Watutsis and the Hutus, they were all black. Some was a little bit tall, some was a little thin. That's why I said evil comes in all shapes, color, size, creed, height, sexuality. It makes no difference. Evil's evil. The Hutsis and Watutsis, they were slaughtering each other. Shiites and Sunnis slaughtering each other. Same people slaughtering each other. Human beings are, that's what they do. So let's not try to make a majority of that. Racism is going to happen. That's just what it is. Racism is a part of tribalism, and that's a part of our DNA. Sorry, some of us could overlook certain things. That is true. But are we going to get rid of it fully? No. No.
Your starting position in this race will be decided by the answers to questions that we are going to be asking you.
Sorry, what?
You hear what the kids? That's a good ginger. Here's a race.
Sorry, what? It's a joke.
It's a joke. Exactly, kid. You're smart, Cookie. That is so stupid, but smart kids.
Get it? It's a race about racism. It's a joke like the kid said. Well, I am certain that this lady is going to give these kids a fair rendition of the world and won't try to play any manipulative games to make these kids dislike each other based on race. I mean, that would be insane.
This activity is intended to explore how society favors one race over others.
No, society doesn't again, society is made up of people. It don't favor one race or the other. It has the perception of that. Is pursuing one tribe over another. Because again, there are rich black people who don't got to do nothing with the ghetto people of black people. There are rich white people who don't give a crap about the country folk or the hillbilly. They don't care. Same thing as the class system in India when you have the Dusties, which is the darker skinned Indians, to the light skinned Indians, or the same thing in Brazil, or the same thing in Mexico. Same people. Shades is different, all that stuff. Tribalism is the parity. This right here is programming the kids to look at things the wrong way, in my opinion.
People often confuse white privilege with being wealthy or being rich, and it isn't about that. What it's about is the absence of having to live with the consequences of racism.
What exactly does the...
Motherfucker, that don't even make no goddamn sense.
See, that's why I don't let that, I'm a black man, I should not be this. I defy the odds by American standards, single mom, never been in jail, ain't got no kids or whatever, successful, 2 degrees, travel the world. Wow, the choices I made. And I have been in arguments with some black people that are like, oh man, I mean, rent has gone up and everything like that. And that sucks. And I feel for you guys right now because rent has gone up 40%. By the same people who say they're going to make rent cheaper. Funny how that works, right? But anyway. And they were like, oh man, I choose to stay out of the city, to move to the city, to move to the country so I can get more money, more land, make my money works better. You want to stay in the city, you're going to pay for it. That's a choice. Sorry, that's a choice. When I used to work a night job, or when I used to work for grocery stores or UPS and stuff like that, and it was rough on the body, but the money was, I needed the money, whatever. But anybody could tell you, anybody in that job could tell you, and I know that because I had young guys, shout out to Chris, young guys, he was like, oh man, I looked up to you, Trav, whatever, or some of the immigrants would be like, oh man, you're a cool dude, blah, blah, blah. They told, and they used to talk to me. They didn't want to talk to the bosses, which was funny enough, black people, but black bosses, and some white, Asian, and Indian. Some of them was European, Turkey, Randall, shout out to you. They would never hear me say, oh man, this job sucks, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, I choose the job. I'm going to do what it is. And when the time came for me to bounce, I bounced. It's a choice. Yes, there were some things that made me unruly at some job, but I wasn't complaining about it because what? I had to move on. I made a choice.
Consequences of racism mean? You didn't specify, so basically it could mean anything. Does that mean I have to feel guilty about slavery, which is something I never participated in, and is also something that pretty much every single race has done to other races?
Which is the truth. There are more slaves in America. No, I'm sorry, America. Well, no. There are more horrible ways of slavery in America now with sex trafficking and child trafficking and all that other stuff, but nobody talks. You barely hear anybody talk about, oh, let's bring, when I get 66% of people who, by Amnesty International, women get raped and also come over. The kids are not the biological kids of these people. That's why they put them in the camps to separate them, to find out the DNA, because these are drug mules or sex traffickers or for the cartels. It's despicable. And again, in the world today, there's more slavery in the world than it was back in 500 years ago. Oh, yeah, hell, there are more slaves in China than it were in America and Brazil combined, which is where most of the Western trade of black people went to.
You thank the West for leading the charge in making slavery illegal, because there are many other parts of the world where it still exists.
Exactly.
Interestingly enough, Japanese Americans were subject to racism in the 1940s. Do you remember when the U.S. government and the media establishment fear-mongered everyone into being okay with Japanese people having their property stolen?
That's true, and I always, people, and he didn't point this out, but I gotta point this out, because I'm not gonna fluff nobody and lie to them. Yes, Japanese people was in internment camps, bad thing, I know it, but we always gotta put it in context. That's why I hate presentism. You gotta put it in context. Let me get this straight. You just bombed the whole base and killed thousands of people by secretly doing stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna look at every person from that country suspect. That's called thinking. That's critical thinking. Did it went far and did that? Yes, George Takei, and then we talk about his parents. It was bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it wasn't bad. It was horrible. But you just bombed me and killed a lot of my people. Yeah, I'm not taking a chance. Sorry, no.
And being thrown into concentration camps? That was around 80 years more recently than slavery, yet Japanese people seem to be doing just fine. So is this really about the consequences of racism, or are you just trying to divide and conquer people? Anyway, let's hear the rules of this game.
If the question applies to you, you will take a big step forward. If the answer to the question doesn't apply to you, you stay where you are.
Oh wait, I forgot to check who this was made by. Let's see. It looks like it was made by Channel 4.
Of course.
But that makes sense. Remember this Channel 4 interview with Jordan Peterson where they spent the whole time strawmanning him?
You cited freedom of speech in that. Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Man, imagine censoring people, firing them, or throwing them in jail because something they said made you uncomfortable. Truth tends to be uncomfortable, so I can think of nothing that is more authoritarian than that. Let's get more into it, but first...
Again, I'll let him
like the content you
go
see
to
on
his
this
channel.
Then consider
Think
making
before
a
you
donation.
sleep. Very,
Viewer support
very,
helps keep me
very,
independent
a
and
very
it helps
good
fund
channel.
the channel. Links to my PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribestar pages can all be found in the description. And also, don't forget to support me on All Tech. Links to my Odyssey, Rumble, and Minds pages can all be found in the description as well. Alright, first question. Full disclosure, I'm doing these out of order because it makes more sense to do it that way.
If you've never been asked where you come from, take a step forward.
Okay.
What?
If you've never been asked where you come from, take a step forward. How that's a bad thing? How's that a bad thing? Yes, people ask me because they hear a little of my voices, where I'm from. Heck, my family asks my girlfriend, where every girlfriend I ever had, but the one, you know, where you from? Oh, I'm from this part of North Carolina. Like, yeah, it's a conversation starter. What the heck? And even white people are like, hey, where you from? Oh, from Florida. Oh, I'm from France. I'm from Canada. Like, the accent will throw it, so no matter what color it is. And even if you got the same call, people will ask that because it's a conversation starter. It's an icebreaker. Good grief.
Okay, I'm white and I've been asked about my racial heritage a ton of times throughout my life. How is this a disadvantage? This question about where you're from is actually a conversation starter. If you have good communication skills and come from a place that's unique, it can make for some really interesting dialogue.
Exactly.
Interesting dialogue that will make people like you and be way more invested in your success. I'm not sure how small talk is racist because questions like this are an opportunity to show people who you are. But I guess in 5 years, I'm going to be called prejudiced for asking how someone's day is. Question number 2.
If you have ever been the only person in the room of your race, take a step backwards.
Wait, let's just say again? Hold up.
The only person in the room of your race, take a step backwards.
It depends on where you at. If you go to the Caribbean, it's gonna be white people, so oh god. Or you in Africa, or you in Asia, or you in India, or you in Mexico. Like the question is just asinine.
If you aren't racist, why does it matter?
Thank
People
you.
are judged by their merit, not by their skin color. And by the way, it's the radical left who's trying to bring back judging people by their skin color. When I was younger, nobody cared about what race you were. In fact,
True.
I, as a white person, have been in a room where I was the only white person. Many times. The second job I ever worked was for a company that cleaned hospitals. I was the only white employee at that company. Everyone else there was either black or Latino, and there was like one Filipino guy. During the 2.5 years I worked that job, nobody talked about race, and we all got along great. I met some really cool people there, and we had a lot of great conversations during breaks and when we were supposed to be working. That was around 12 years ago. Thanks to all the radical leftists promoting critical race theory, I imagine working that job in today's environment would be a much more hostile experience. We can thank things like Channel 4 for making people hate each other unnecessarily. Look, it's even having an effect on the kids, too.
The divide widens, and the inequality of their position becomes clear.
This is just like not fair now.
Farah, none of us are white. None of us are white. It's unfair.
Wow, thank you for your service, lady. You've really helped society by taking these kids who were previously okay and making them resentful based on race.
Thank you.
Remember when they were happy at the start?
We are going to be running a race. However,
yeah,
the only saving grace here is that Channel 4 got roasted in the comments and they got like 4 times as many dislikes as they got likes.
Of course.
Look at that title. Heartbreaking moment when kids learn about white privilege. The only heartbreaking thing that happened here is what you did to these kids' minds with this game.
Exactly.
Speaking of, we aren't out of questions yet.
if English is your parents' first language, take a step forward.
Oh, yeah.
How is this a disadvantage?
I swear, yeah.
I know this took place in the UK, but in California, if your parents speak Spanish and they teach that to you, that gives you an advantage when it comes to getting hired for a job.
As if they also learn English if you're in California. Let's add that caveat to that.
But I guess what they're implying is that not being a native speaker prevents you from understanding people and harms your ability to socially connect.
Which is true. Because if I go to Germany, I don't speak German, yeah, it's gonna hinder me. That's why I laugh when people's like, which is funny, in becoming an immigrant to become a naturalized citizen of America, in the rules and everything, you speak English. But of course, illegals and all that stuff don't know that, and then we break down the thing, because again, if I can't communicate to you, we're breaking down society anyway.
Which is ironic, because harming people's ability to socially connect is exactly what Channel 4 is doing with this assignment. Here's the thing though, when my great-grandparents immigrated to America, they didn't speak any English. My grandmother and grandfather's family came from the same town, and when my great-grandparents moved, they told their kids, my grandmother and grandfather, we're in America now, we are only going to speak English.
There you go.
What? They learned English very well, and my great-grandparents, who are not native speakers of English, ended up being perfectly capable of speaking the language. Their son, my grandfather, grew up to be a very successful electrical engineer, my grandmother became a stay-at-home mom, and they retired very well off. Maybe it's less about what your native language is, and more about being willing to learn the primary language of the country you live in.
Thank you.
This philosophy that Channel 4 and leftists promote is absolutely cancerous to the people they are claiming to help.
It
and
is.
It's probably largely perpetuated by people who have never seriously studied a second language before. The worst thing for a non-native speaker of English is to have things like all the signs written in 3 different languages so that they aren't forced to learn the language. If you know anything about language acquisition, then you know that if you really want to learn, you need to put yourself in an environment where you have no other options but to learn the language. Otherwise, you'll revert back to your native language at every opportunity, and you'll learn nothing. If anything is preventing people who don't speak English natively from succeeding, it's the radical leftist ideology that keeps giving these people cop-outs so that they don't have to learn the language, which forces these people into ghettos where they can only interact with people who speak their language, instead of having access to the rest of the country. Tell me, are you going to have more job opportunities if you can only speak to the small number of people who speak your language? Or are you going to have more job options if you speak a language that will allow you to communicate with the entire country?
Exactly.
As I've said many times before, the radical leftists who promote this stuff are not your friends. Sorry this is kind of a big rant, but this bugs the crap out of me, particularly in a time where it's cheaper and easier than ever to learn a new language. Everything is free. You can learn English for free on YouTube and practice by walking outside. That's not just English, by the way. You can find language resources these days for most languages either for free or at a very low cost. And before I get called a racist, know that I've been learning Japanese for a number of years and I am very close to conversational fluency, so I know exactly how much work it takes to learn a second language. It's just so stupid because I'm trying to teach people lessons that will pull them out of poverty, yet in response, the radical left calls me racist, which keeps those people down, and somehow the people on the radical left are the good guys. Okay, rant over. Last question.
If you've never had to be worried about your family being stopped and searched, take a step forward.
I don't get worried about if people ask me.
I don't. I didn't. So, based by all this stuff, I will be up there to the top, because I don't.
Stop and search?
Exactly.
Who isn't nervous around the police? The police have been trained by the government to do tons of illegal stuff and trick you into giving up your rights. The Zoomers won't know this, but back in 2012, 2013, 2014, there was a very legitimate movement for police reform. This movement not only pointed out all the...
And we had one in 2018 and 19, but that also got crushed by nonsensical crap, but let's go.
...the illegal and immoral stuff that cops do, but it was also teaching people how to interact with cops so that cops can't step all over your rights, and so that you remain safe during a police encounter.
That's
you don't
true.
like getting stopped and searched? Did you know that in America, that's illegal if you don't give them consent? Police can't stop and search you without probable cause or a warrant, but they can certainly trick you into a legal gray area by saying things like, stop right there. They may not have the legal authority to stop you, but if you comply or don't refuse to stop, then it doesn't matter. They can also say, can I search you? Or, I'm going to search you now. If you comply after one of those is said, then you have given up your Fourth Amendment protection against searches. You can stop them from doing this or get them into a lot of legal trouble by saying, am I being detained or am I free to go? Or by saying, I don't consent to searches. I'm not a lawyer, so take this advice with a grain of salt, but back during that time period, there were many lawyers telling people to be polite, keep your mouth shut, and assert your rights when talking to police. If anything goes wrong with a police encounter, you handle it in court. This information helps ensure that police stick to their job, which is stopping criminals, not pestering people who have done nothing wrong. Do you know what stopped police reform and stopped people from getting educated about their rights? Black Lives Matter did. They completely subverted the police reform movement, made it all about race, and divided and conquered everyone so that nothing got done. Then, in 2020, proceeded to cause tons of damage to minority neighborhoods that they claimed to be helping. As I said, these people are not your friends.
Let me add on to what he just said right there in my regard as well too. I remember when I was young and I was in college, and I remember when I've been pulled over by cops for the most craziest things. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. You're going to get pulled over because that I don't have a fear of it. Because I don't do nothing wrong, but you're still gonna be nervous around it. Now I can tell you a story about how how to handle it, and also the stupidity of government, and that's why I don't be a part of government. That's why I don't like it. Less government. That's why I'm a libertarian. That's the problem. So here you go. So one was, yes, I remember one time I got pulled over, and I don't have the thing, but people who understand this, for architects and whatever, you have the cases and stuff. So I had an extendable case you could put building plans or blueprints and stuff in when I was going to NC State, North Carolina State University. I remember when I got pulled over, and I remember when I got pulled over, and it was in the backseat of my car, and a cop, had his flashlight, and I don't know if he was joking or being stupid. Just saying, I don't know. You make your judgment, but I don't know. It's like, what is that, a bazooka? I'm like, and of course, I'm in the back of my mind is like, what? A bazooka? Really? And this is, of course, after September 11, but still made no difference. I'm like, what? Really, sir? And he said, can I search the car? And I said, no, you can't. Unless you got a warrant, I guess you want a warrant. Well, he said, oh, well, I don't need a warrant. I have probable cause. Well, I said, all right, look, I don't know all about that, sir, but again, if you want to search my car, bring me a warrant. And I think, I ain't got nothing to hide. I don't know to hide. You go get that. I'll wait right here in my car. Hell, I turn my car off. Let's go. I'll wait until you find that warrant. I'm going home anyway from work, so I don't really care too much. And he was like, okay, go ahead. Because I know he searched my car for what? What probable cause? Nothing. You asked a stupid ass question like that. That's one. Two. There was a cop. Of course, I'm going to a certain neighborhood. So again, yeah, I get it. I'm not stupid, but yeah, going to a certain neighborhood. And I was like, when a cop pulled me, I was like, you pulled me over? What? What you pull me over for? Of course, yes, I've been pulled over for driving while black, so I get that. So it's like, all right, whatever, okay. And he was like, I pulled you over because your license plate light is out. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to know my license plate light is out? I mean, unless you do routine checks, which I can tell you right now, that's the best thing to do routine check. Not only to see the cops don't pull you for stupid stuff, but again, at least you figure out what's going on. I do that. I check my flashes and everything to make sure everything, so no bulbs are blowing out or whatever. Sorry, thank the Lord, all of my lights are basically LEDs, so they don't burn out so easy. But yeah, but that was an older car, so I said, okay. So he said my license plate light was out, which is, of course, you could still see the license plate. Let's be honest, the cop pulled him over because there was a black person in a certain neighborhood. Let's not even lie to that. That's just what it was. I ain't stupid. But his car was like, oh, license plate. And so for me, lucky for me, I said, oh, really? Well, officer, yesterday I got an inspection. Here you go. And it says, parking license plate light pass. Here you go. Here's the thing. And he's okay. He's like, I know he was like, son of a bitch. He's like, well, sometimes they just pass stuff like that, whatever. I'm going to give you a fix-it ticket. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So get a fix-it ticket, fix the problem, go find a cop, let them see that you fixed the problem, and then they sign off, and then you mail it to the sheriff department downtown, to the sheriff department. All right. Here's the crazy crap. So I went to one of the other stores, them, get the bulb, put it in, boom, bam, boom, no problem. It was hard to find a daggone cop. Okay, he was like, oh, just flag out any cop, whatever. I'm like, I ain't gonna flag out a cop just to do this. So you know what I did? Thinking it was a smart and simple and easy thing to do, I went to the place where I went down to the sheriff department of the county. I was like, okay, that's where I'm gonna go. Right? I went there. Then I went there. There's a bunch of cops. Get the cops. Come out. There was a black cop. The cop said, he's like, he pulled you over for this. I know this guy. He pulled you over there. That's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Again, small talk, whatever. So he sees the light. He signs it. So I, thinking, be a smart individual, thinking, oh, well, I'm at the place. Let me go back into the daggone sheriff department and say, hey, how about I give you this ticket? I got this ticket. I'm here at the place. Can you just put it in there? I was promptly told that's not how it works. I was like, what?
NANI?
What are you talking about? He said, no, that's not how it works. I'm here. I'm giving you the ticket. I'm supposed to mail it here. Yeah, you have to mail it in. But I'm here. Yeah, but you still got to mail it in. I was like,
motherfucker, that don't even make no goddamn sense.
This is why I hate government. This is why I hate government, really. That was unnecessary. I'm at the building. Let me just pass it in. I got to still go home, get a stamp, mail it in, so you get... you see why, again, that's why I'm a libertarian. Jeez Louise. And again, not the crazy libertarians, because they are crazy ones too. I'm just the one like, look, leave me the hell alone. I don't bother you, you don't bother me, that kind of situation. Jeez. We do need government for certain things, but the little busybodiness, I hate that. Anyway, back to the program.
Anyway, let's see what the kids think of this little assignment.
If we were about to start a race, is this a fair starting point for us all? No.
I want you to pay close attention here because I just talked about techniques to convince people on my last video. Can you see how effective this exercise was at convincing the kids that everything is unfair?
Yep.
Playing games and doing thought experiments is one of the most effective ways to get people to listen to you. Albeit, in this case, it was incredibly deceptive because Channel 4 is essentially lying to these kids about how the world works because in the West, we live in one of the most racially tolerant times ever.
Yes.
But whether Channel 4 told a lie or not, the technique was still effective.
Nakai, how do you feel standing there in the field of runners?
I kind of feel a bit alone. I can't really see it. I'm literally just by myself, more or less. I'm just a bit frustrated and annoyed that society nowadays really isn't fair.
Life would never be fair. the world will never be fair, son. That's the lesson you need to learn. It's never gonna be fair. Because look, hey, you have people behind you. You have a black girl behind you, and you have a see that same black people. The black girl's behind him. There you go. It's because of how was you raised, all the stuff. Like that's. Do they not look at that like, okay, well, yeah, it's not because I'm black, because the look of it's circumstantial stuff, and the person who's the furthest back was an Indian girl. Jeez.
And I just wish everybody could be equal.
We're not. Sorry. To be 100%, we're not all equal. We're not.
I'm literally just by myself. He said it, not me. Yes, Mackay, that's the point of the assignment. To divide everyone based on traits that can be easily identified like sex and skin color, so that you immediately know to hate someone the second you look at them, before you even speak. This is how divide and conquer strategies work, and it's why race is one of the primary ways people are divided. People can easily tell what racial category you fall into just by looking at you.
It's kind of frustrating that, like, me and Sarah are just standing at the back here while...
See, a girl, two girls, and one's black. This one, I think he's Italian or Japanese. Like, it's different. What this proves is not that one race is better, because again, the Mackay, the black kid, is higher than him, and her and him. It's so stupid. But of course, you're gonna be like, oh, well, a white person and all that stuff.
The majority of people who may be white are like standing right at the front. That just frustrates me a bit.
See, and then you're starting to make more, by saying that and doing that makes, oh my God.
Because it's almost as in what society is today. I don't want this to be how it is, but it is. So it just gets a bit frustrating.
You're like 11. How do you know it's like that? You haven't seen the world yet, and most importantly, just minutes before this assignment, you are getting along fine with all your friends who are all different races.
Exactly.
So where's your experience with this reality? But because of how the adults in this video frame this activity, she now says, that white kid is ahead of me in the race, and that's unfair. Can you see how that might cause this little girl to hate white people when she grows up?
Yep.
Your brain has a way of filtering things based on your prior...
Funny enough, those girls or guys who up there might be an opportunity that could help you, could advance you more. That's why I said all that stuff at the beginning of the podcast, to keep your mind open to that, because again, they could be the people, they could be the key to advancing your progress. You don't know.
Experiences. So if some adult tells you when you're 11 that white people have an unfair advantage, then as you grow up, you're only going to notice places where white people have the upper hand. This kind of tunnel vision will make you very resentful.
Yeah.
Now let me address the elephant in the room here. This is not even a fair assignment because Channel 4 chose the questions, so everything is biased to make white people look like they have the advantage. How about one of the questions being, step forward if you've ever been given a scholarship, a job opportunity, or been admitted into an educational program because of your race? How about step forward if you're allowed to say things people of other races are not allowed to say? Or last, step forward if your race has an entire month dedicated to it. I can put the white kids at the back of the line just by changing the prompt, which makes this assignment completely guided by bias.
Yeah.
The kids weren't given a game where they can discover their own answers. They were instead given a game where, unless you have a lot of life experience and can offer a contrary opinion, the only conclusion to this assignment is that white people have an unfair advantage everywhere.
Henry, how are you feeling being right at the very front?
It feels quite weird because if you think about it, I think all of us should be at the same point, but sadly the questions, the way that they were put didn't favour some people.
I like this kid. I like this kid. Smart kid. That's what it is. I like this kid. I like the ginger.
Which I think is quite unfair.
So now we have a group of kids who are resentful and a young white kid who has been made responsible for the inequality and now feels guilty for something he didn't do. Perfect. That's exactly what the radical left and the establishment want, because it keeps us from uniting against the real powers who are screwing us over.
It's true.
The establishment has found a way to have us argue over arbitrary nonsense like race, which is something that we have no control over. People shouldn't be made to feel inferior or guilty because of the situation they were born into, But that's exactly what this Channel 4 assignment did. Ultimately, to fight this divide and conquer strategy, we have to work things in reverse. The strategy of the establishment is to convince us to find reasons to hate each other, which is very antisocial behavior. To counteract that, we need to find reasons to get along. That's why this practice of finding common ground in debate is so important. If debate is just about what we don't like about each other, then all it will do is make the problem worse. Which means every single time you have an argument with someone, you need to be actively looking for places where you agree, even if you don't fully agree on the main topic. Now, it's fine to point out the negatives when things are going wrong, but if all you do is look for negativity, then you're going to find yourself destroying your personal relationships, and you'll end up very socially isolated. You need to make an effort to find positive things about people. I try to do that in every video. Believe it or not, I even did it in this one. I don't like what Channel 4 did, but I did give them points for very effectively convincing the children of their viewpoint. That tiny bit of nuance is important. It's not going to change my opinion on the moral character of Channel 4, but this practice of finding people's positive traits is important because there are a ton of people in real life who fall into a gray area who you may be dismissing because you have only looked at the characteristics they have that offend you. If that doesn't describe the current political divide, then I don't know what does.
Exactly.
How many people have dissolved friendships or ostracized family members, completely forgetting all the good things those people have done, simply because they voted for the wrong political candidate?
Exact. And you've heard me say that multiple times. I know this family member. I know you for 10 years. Okay, so you voted for Hillary Clinton. I will look at you. I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest. Like, okay, you voted for Hillary Clinton. But I'll be like, but I know you're a good person. I know you take care of family and stuff like that. Oh, because I didn't vote for nobody. Let's go with reality. I got hit by a lot of people from one side because I didn't vote for Trump or Hillary Clinton. I went with a third-party candidate in that one because I'm like, Trump, no. Hillary, hell no. So it's like, oh, you didn't vote. You could have helped out. I did vote. Yeah, I voted. Well, you threw away your vote. Wait. I threw away my vote because I didn't want to vote for these two pieces of crap. Yeah, because we got Trump now. Okay, we got Trump. And what you want me to do? I know what Hillary's background is. I know Trump is a pompous a-hole, but I never know him as a politician. Let me see what he does. Some of the stuff he did I didn't like. Some of the stuff he did I did like. So when he came up to 2020, when he come to voting dead time, I was like, okay, unlike other people, I was not worried about, oh, he mean tweets. I do say that he was the most openest president. Funny how we went back. It was like we want an open president. Barack Obama promised to be more open. It was not. We had Trump saying anything he wants to say. I was like, okay, at least I know what he's on his mind. Hell, I like to be like secretive and know that I'm getting screwed. But my point of saying that I had something established with him, even though there's some things I did like still. But I'm like, okay, I don't care about the personality at that time. I care about, best economy ever. All blah, try to stop illegal immigration. Try to stop. He was the only one because Biden ain't doing this right now. Find these kids so they don't be sex slaves, whatever. He was the one that did Operation No Stones Left Behind. Of course, I'm going to talk about that. All these things that's coming up, blah blah blah. I was like, I like those. So I say, hey, but I know Joe Biden's past, and I heard his stuff. So I'm like, no, I don't want it. So, and again, literally when he said again, the point of, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, if I don't vote for him, I'm not black. I'm like, okay, you know what? Screw you, sir. Seriously. Now, I respect the office. I think he's the most worst president I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I respect the office to whatever. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. But a point of going on with that is like, I got cousins who are straight up whatever. Funny enough, me and Asa could do a video about that when I introduced her to some of my family members, and she was like, I told her, and these are people born in America, not back in the Caribbean. She's like, so she was like, I said, stay away from politics. Don't say nothing, whatever. They get crazy with this stuff like that. I'll never see. I have respect that, like, I know that this is a bad thing. I don't speak it to certain people. I just like, I'll leave it the hell alone. I don't say it in your house. Please have the courtesy not to say it in my house because you know me and you disagree. That's all. Sometimes that don't happen because I still hear it in my house for some reason. I'm like, what the heck? Did I not? Man, stop. But we went over there. I introduced her to it. We went to Texas, and all I said was, yeah, we just had a trip. We just went to Texas, and here, as Joker said in Dark Knight, and here we go. Why did you went to Texas? Because I have a friend over there. Is he white? He Texas. He's white. I'm like, no, he's black. What questions? Texas, how Texas racist because they try to stop black people from voting. I'm like, what? What are you talking? You know what? I walked away. In my mind, I was literally like, because as soon as I saw that, in my mind, I was like,
holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
And I know in my girlfriend's mind, she was like, because I warned her, so she's like,
No, son of a bitch! Yeah!
So that's the point. That's the part that had me laughing. And she's like, yeah, I didn't see that. Exactly. That's how they divide a lot of people, and we're going to divide with stuff. Look at this thing now. And this happens on the right too. Don't get me wrong. Whenever, Eminem kneel on the stage, and so what? I don't care that he kneel on the stage. He's not an athlete. He's not whatever. He could do what he want to do. I don't care as long as he won't be super vulgar or he was showing his penises around or something like that. I don't care. He kneel and let him do what he got to do. But they know that's a triggering point. So they use that to say, oh, can you believe this happened? Blah, blah, blah. And that divides people. So yes, and I talked to a friend of mine and he was correct. That this is the most divisive. This is not the most divided people by in America. No, but this is the most partisan on just thoughts. There's no commonality between people on thoughts in that regard. When I mean thoughts, I'm like we all live a certain life that's privileged if you're in America and everything. But yeah, it's just like multiple thoughts. No, one thought, whatever, like the Civil War and all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's just that or the Revolutionary War as well too. So that is. But shout outs to Think Before You Sleep again. A great channel. You're not gonna agree with him all the way, but it is. You can hear he talk. He is a thought provoker, and that's what I like, and that's why I like doing these podcasts to show people, to make you think a little bit and open up your mind. Like I said. Thanks for giving your time, your eyes, your ears, and your mind, because it is that. So let's finish this up right now with one more thing. Keeping up with the heretic talk, shall we? Excuse me. Keeping up with the heretic talk.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Many companies tell us when there's injustice, speak up. Here's Disney.
This is a reason for you to speak up on injustices. It's on you to speak up.
The NBA.
This league's done a great job of allowing us to go out there and speak for the people who may not be able to be heard.
This is a sort of corporate PR hogwash.
Journalist Melissa Chen calls it hogwash because the NBA clearly does not want its employees to criticize injustice if the injustice is in China.
Of course.
One team's general manager did.
China reacted negatively after Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, tweeted his support for the protesters in Hong Kong.
Morey merely said, fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. That's a good thing to say.
Sadly, yeah, now China has overtaken Hong Kong, and they already done start desecrating and taking a lot of freedom rights and everything. Ooh. Yeah, let's protest, but real police brutality, as you see on the screen, and real horrible stuff that's going on. And again, there's police brutality in America. I'm not saying they're not, but with the lockdowns and everything, when you see, I showed it in Germany when it was German veterans that were just just chilling. They weren't doing nothing. They were peacefully protesting, and then out of nowhere, Here comes the batons. In China, oh, they were whooping the hell out of the Hong Kongers for just for peaceful protests. But I digress.
Crushed freedom in Hong Kong.
Yep. That tweet has since been deleted.
Now Mori tweets, I did not intend to cause offense. Why is he apologizing for saying something true about a repressive dictatorship? Because
the NBA is facing backlash in China. How much money are we talking about?
Billions.
After Mori posted this tweet, Chinese TV stopped broadcasting Rockets games. So the NBA quickly issued a groveling apology, writing that they were extremely disappointed by Mori's inappropriate tweet. Then players apologized.
Yeah, we apologize. You know, we love China. We love, playing there.
When you're misinformed or you're not educated about something.
LeBron James called Mori misinformed.
Sometimes you have to think through things that you say that may cause harm.
The next year, Mori left Houston. But he's a skilled executive. He quickly got a new job with the Philadelphia 76ers. China then stopped broadcasting Sixers games.
What's amazing to me is that China is able to strong arm these companies, these players, these teams into actually acquiescing with its ideology.
China's ideology is often grotesque. The United States and other countries say
the PRC has committed genocide.
Genocide of a mostly Muslim minority group called the Uyghurs. China put them in what it calls re-education camps.
I wish John Stoss was a person I do look up to and I have respect for. The Uyghur camps, that is a true thing. But also, I wish they also put black people, they also put Christians, they also put Buddhists. That must be fighting with China for a long time. People from India fighting with China for a long time. They put all kind of people in those things. If you believe in a God other than Xi Jinping being the God, that's what they do. It's not just the Uyghur monks only. It's not only, and funny enough, hey, any of the Muslims from Iran and the other places, why don't you go over to China and help your brethren? Oh, you ain't gonna do that because China don't F with none of that crap. All that talk.
Occasionally, they let the news media in.
When the Chinese government took our BBC colleagues on a rare tour last year, they wanted to show a happy place where Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities are de-radicalized.
De-radicalized. Oh my goodness.
No, son of a bitch!
That's a way. Just like how you go to North Korea and they're like, oh, we show you all the great places in North Korea. People are starving over there.
The official footage from China shows happy people.
This is Chinese propaganda. Satellite images show a totally different story.
Here, a camera shows blindfolded men with their hands tied behind their backs in what looks like a concentration camp. The few who escaped China say they were tortured.
They are forced into slave labor, and that's happening right now.
The Chinese say they're doing this to prevent terrorism.
But it's still wrong to incarcerate an entire population.
One of the biggest things is we want social justice.
Since the NBA runs ads encouraging people to
speak for the people who may not be able to be heard.
What does the NBA say about the Uyghur genocide? Nothing.
Nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs, okay?
An owner of the Golden State Warriors was unusually candid about it.
We have a responsibility to take care of our own backyard first.
China's on the other side of the world. It makes sense for companies to focus on American issues.
Companies like Apple, Nike, and Coca-Cola have part of their supply chain sourced from this region.
Yep.
And in these areas, Uyghurs are actually forced to participate in slave labor.
That's the part of killing. You take care in the backyard. Okay. Once you take care of your backyard, I don't have a problem. You could do both. One, you could do both. Two, what you do in your backyard is way less than what China is doing to these people. And trust me, they're going to do the exact same thing if they ever get power over the world. Like I've said again, there are 3 superpowers. 3. America, Russia, China. And trust me, the other two, America has its faults, but I'll take America over those to broadcast, for me as a black man, to have my own company, to start a podcast, to do a lot of stuff, the freedoms I have now. In those two countries right there, oh, that ain't gonna be happening. We just talk about societal thing with in a free what we just did with the kids. Try that in those other countries. Ho 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 ho. That is not happening.
Nevertheless, the movie Mulan was filmed in the same region where Uyghurs are tortured. Doesn't Disney care?
You know who I am?
I know who you are. Do you?
Seems Hollywood grovels before China too.
Yep.
Tough guy John Cena beats people up on screen, but in real life, he begs China, forgive me. What did he do wrong?
He had the audacity to mention or allude to the fact that Taiwan was a country.
Because Cena said Taiwan was a country,
rather than a territory owned by China.
The Chinese got mad.
And so John Cena took to the airwaves and apologized in Mandarin, no less, and groveled.
我有一个错误，我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。对不起，对不起，我很抱歉。
So all he does is say sorry for 1.5 minutes, and it's just pathetic.
It is. I think the Chinese government actually takes a lot of pleasure knowing that they can actually strong-arm companies into capitulation to its own political ideology.
我很抱歉。
At what point do principles return?
That's a very good question.
Money
These
and
companies have a
principles?
lot of power.
No.
There is no reason for them to be kowtowing to a Chinese dictatorship.
Enes Kanter called.
And that is true because when I've showed a video about it before, when they had Disney had, what do you call it, Star Wars, and one of the main characters with Ray was, I forgot the black guy, was I forgot what his name's again. Dang it. Anyway, the black guy. And funny enough, when they went to China, he mysteriously was removed from certain posters, including the first one where he was one of the main characters. And in one of the posters, he was removed. In other posters, they put him way in the back. He was like brought up top and then like back, small little thing. Yeah. What about the racism? Anybody gonna talk about that? No, of course not.
The country's leader a, quote, brutal dictator.
At least one NBA player defies the censors.
Enes Kanter has been the only NBA player to dare to speak up.
To me, human rights and people's, but basic rights is way more important than any deal you can offer me.
He has been wearing these shoes sprayed with political messages such as Free Tibet, denouncing China's Uyghur repression, and Free Taiwan.
And because he plays for the Celtics, China won't show the Celtics games.
Of course.
That's right.
In China, Kanter doesn't even exist. His name has actually been scrubbed from the Chinese internet.
Yeah.
Here you go. And that's what you want. And people are like, oh, that's what I get. There's a superpower. So you want to be that, if you run afoul that they just scrub you off, they have the power to scrub you off, and no matter how famous you are. So think about if you ain't not that. They scrub you off the internet. You don't even exist.
You cannot search for anything alluding to Enes Kanter.
Kanter, who's now added freedom to his name, is the rare non-hypocrite. And he points out the hypocrites.
Nike, they stand with Black Lives Matter, Latino community, no Asian hate, and LGBTQ community. But when it comes to China, they remain silent.
The press isn't pointing out this hypocrisy much.
No, they're very silent on it because they know that this actually exposes the woke edifice of the NBA.
What do you want the NBA and all these companies to do? Just turn their back on the Chinese market?
Absolutely. I think the least we can do is to take stock of their cowardice and recognize that what they're participating in is a bald-faced hypocrisy.
And again, you could, like I said before, you could do both. That's my thing. I don't want to stop people from talking about the police brutality in America and all that stuff. You can do both, but because the other one greases your hands that much, yeah, just be that. You can make. That's what I said. The choices is your great equalizer. They could do that. Shout out to him for making sure that he puts his stuff. That he made a choice like that. He said, yeah, as he stated, no deal is worth the blood money for me to be quiet about something that affects people I know, whatever. Respect for that guy in that regard. Respect for that guy. So to me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Look, life is unfair. It is. It's just horrible stuff that can happen. I have come many times close to destroying my life by making certain by the circumstances that was put towards me, and I was like, whew, thank God I made the right decision. So, and trust me, it's not all easy. And sometimes I make bad decisions too. I have, and I'm like, man, but I own up to my decisions. I own up to my problem. I have accountability. That's one thing Asa could tell you. She knows me for whatever. She was like, Tig is always a person who would take accountability if he does something wrong, whatever. And I would do that because I'm the one who, if I make the choices and I could only control my hands and feet, that's all I can do. Literally, that's all I can do. But if you want to make sure, we got to teach these kids, which you going through this process, and you see what I do in my radio show of teaching in the past. Hey, the past is the past. It can affect you. It affects you, but the best effect it can have from you, and that's why I do a lot of the stuff about the past and everything, is that you can learn so you don't get bamboozled or tricked or mind tricked like I just showed there. And don't be a hypocrite, or should I say a heretic. That's all it is. All those people, the companies, the same thing, do the exact same thing too. Yes, the celebrities or whatever, but the celebrities sign the checks from the company, and the companies are that crazy. That's why majority of my stuff I have, don't get it wrong, majority of the stuff I have has been made in America or been assembled in America in that regard. Because some tech stuff still comes from China and Taiwan and stuff. I have no problem with Taiwan. I have no problem with Vietnam. Just saying. But I try my best to do it in that regard. Anyway, again, thank you for giving me your time, your mind, your eyes, your ears to listen to what I have to say, because it is very important. I have some, like I said, next week, Tuesday, me and Ace is going to do just basically a quick podcast about our travels and something for her to travel to the Caribbean island. So check it out, Tuesday, 8 p.m. on back here. That'll be in that regard. Then, of course, I have some videos from the past I need to talk about. We're going to talk about Jim Crow laws and stuff because it's Black History Month. I'm going to talk about this stuff to make sure people understand about it, to teach this to kids. Again, I apologize for some of the things that some of the stuff have cursing words and stuff that you can't give to your kids. I get that, no problem. I understand that. My clips have that. When I got the time, maybe I'll just put a bleep and add it up, but I don't have the time for that. That's laziness on me. I'll admit to that. That's me. But other than that, though, yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing with the rest of this show in that regard. And also expose and give you something. You can say expose a little because, Biden said, I want to be hire the first black woman, whatever. Come to find out, have the first appoint the first black Supreme judge to the Supreme Court. Funny enough, she used the filibuster, which she want to get rid of, to block the first female black judge back in the 2000s. Heretics. Anyway, with that said, thank you for getting that. Remember, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed, whatever creed, sex, height, genders. It made no difference. Evil is evil. Remember, take care of yourself, then your family, then your neighbors. And that's how you start with a community. Best be that. And last but not least, remember, people are stupid, individuals smart. Please be that smart individual. Peace out. Have a good night. Catch you tomorrow on Side Chat. And also catch you next week with regular programs.